When humanity calls, BTC answers.
I wanted to put somebody on to speak with you who you had come in early to see and meet and greet, and he is on the screen. Mr. Ted Lange, who you guys know from Love Boat. He's on the screen, so he's going to speak to you now. We've piped him in. So Ted, go. You're on.
So welcome to this wonderful event, dealing with healing and abuse. I'm sorry that I cannot be with you there this evening. I'm doing double duty. I have a play that's running here off Broadway, further down on 42nd near 9th. And because things are coming at me, I got the dates confused. Otherwise, I would be there. I would love to be there. I'm sorry I'm not there, but I want to commend all of you for coming out for this event and putting in your time and effort to make this a grand event. All I can say to you is good luck, and I support what you're doing.
I wanted to say, I'm going to repeat, thank you very, very much, Ted, for being piped in, based on and also taking the time because you have to be getting ready for your 7 p.m. show, Lady Patriot on the west side, 42nd Street at Theater Row, which was fabulous. I saw it a couple of nights ago, from beginning to end. So people, please check it out, Lady Patriot. And Ted, thank you very, very much for taking the time. I know you couldn't be here, and you would have if you could have, but you ain't, so it's okay. Love you. Thank you so much.
Ozzie.
Yes.
Can Ted hear us? Like all of us collectively?
Probably. I don't know.
So on the count of 3, who wants to join me in singing The Love Boat? And a round of applause for Ted. Well, I guess it's on me. Welcome, everyone. Good evening. You guys could do a little better than that. Good evening, everyone. Happy summer. We're still in summer, right? And in case we weren't, I decided to bring summer to you. So thank you. A little feedback. You guys are going to have to be lively because I'm a live one, all right? All right. You like that? Okay, I hope I don't disappoint then. Now that I've opened my big mouth. Welcome, everybody. My name is Sonia Daly. I'm going to be your mistress of ceremonies for the evening, and it is my pleasure. How about now? Can you hear me better? Maybe I think we need to turn up the mics just a smidge. How's that, Glenda? I have my own audio visual technician in the house. Thank you so much. Everybody give me a thumbs up if you could hear me. Wonderful. So yes, thank you all for choosing to be here this evening. We're going to start with some housekeeping. I'll tell you more about myself a little later. But as you entered, the gentleman asked if you would partake in raffles. Let me tell you what we are raffling tonight. Tonight, there are 8 tickets for the Live with Kelly and Mark show. Who likes that in the mornings? I know my mother is an avid fan. So, Mommy, I hope you put your money in the bucket and win and take me. And there are, like I said, 8 tickets, so I believe it's 2 sets of 4 that can win. And all of the proceeds, as you probably know by now, will go to the Healing Abuse Initiative that funds 5 charities in Trinidad, Tobago, and the U.S., okay? So it's an internationally outfitted organization, and you'll hear lots more about that. But just briefly, if I can, actually, I think we're going to get started as soon as we just see some more people file in and just clear the, fill the space. But I believe that the music, we're going to have some music in the beginning of the evening until we just get some more friends joining us, all right? And we'll get our evening started. Everyone looks amazing. I just want you to know that. There's a gentleman a TD Bank employee who, when I walked in, he said, I have to tell you, you have some really good-looking friends. And I was like, well, truth be told, I only know 5 of them. But you're right, they are all very good-looking people. So give yourselves a round of applause for just coming out, sharing the evening with us, and we'll get started in a matter of moments, okay? Thank you for that. That was beautiful. So I think in all good things, we first of all should start in a moment of reflection. And in doing so, I'm going to ask one of our beloved guests, the Pastor Terrence Kennedy of New Hope Community Church in Harlem, to come and give us some words of reflection so that we can start our evening. I don't know about you, but I clap for a pastor. I want that kind of favor in my life. Thank you, Pastor.
Thank you so much. God bless you, everybody. I'm so glad to be here. Now, I'm a pastor, so when I say God bless you, everybody, I'm expecting to hear something back. So let's try that again. God bless you, everybody. And what a wonderful greeting in our time when blessings seem to be far and few between, when our world is such turmoil. But we are a blessed people, are we not? We are a blessed people. I said we are a blessed people. And no matter what it looks like, the God we serve can turn it around. I'm glad to be here for the occasion. As introduced, my name is Pastor Terrence Kennedy, and I'm a pastor here in Harlem. And I'm excited about this organization and the work that they do because there are similarities between the work that I've been doing. This year marks my 25th year of being a pastor. And since then, thank you. And since then, we've done a lot of work in the community, largely around HIV and AIDS, which kind of intersects with what you're doing with around domestic violence and healing and trauma abuse. Because when I started doing work around HIV and AIDS, I realized it was like a tree with tentacles and branches, that so many people's story was correlated to trauma and abuse and neglect and domestic violence. And our church kind of stands out in that we not only did outreach work, but we actually became an official HIV testing site. And the state didn't know how to certify us. We got our certification. The state did not know how to certify us because state certification is kind of cookie cutter. We were not a hospital. We were not a community center. We were the church. But who better than the church should be equipped to deal with trauma? Who better than the church should be equipped to deal with pain? And I was one of the testers. The other clergy were part of the testers, and we reached out to the community, and we still do that work with feeding and domestic violence and healing and loving on people, because we have a sign on our door that the Lord gave us in the scripture that whosoever will, let him come in. God so loved come on, you can help me say that. God so loved the world. And listen, you will never meet anyone that God is not concerned about. And if it concerns God, it should also concern us. I think if something is important to God, it should also be important to us. And so I'm here, and I'm glad to be here. I also here, I was asked to talk about an event that I'm doing. I'm doing a live recording on the 21st of September. I can give you out some flyers. And Lady Tremaine Hawkins is coming from California to record with me. Yeah, y'all know Tremaine Hawkins. Y'all know the Hawkins. Anybody know the Hawkins? And some wonderful singers. But I would like to share that information. I'm over here. You could come and get some from me, or I can pass that out. But can we pray? Can we pray? Am I talking to a praying people? I said, can we pray? Now, I'm a Christian, so I'm going to pray the way I know how to pray. I respect everyone's faith, and if you do not pray in the name of Jesus, I respect that. But because I'm a Christian, I'm going to be authentic in my prayer. Is that okay? Let us bow our heads. Lord, this is the day that you have made, and you commanded us to rejoice and be glad in it. God, sometimes the days come and they bring things that we find it hard to rejoice in. But we do not rejoice in the circumstances or in the lot of our days, but we rejoice in the God who made the day. God, no matter how fancy, no matter how smart, no matter how intellectual we think we are, not one of us in here can make a day. And so we praise the God who makes the day, who causes the sun to rise, and who causes the moon and the stars to shine. And we say, thank you, Lord. It's just another day that you have kept us. It's another day that you have provided for us. That in the world where the uncertain is prevalent, God, you made a way. And sometimes, God, we have to be honest, you made a way out of no way. God, sometimes I know we're dressed up and I know we have on our fine clothes and the faces are beat, but God, sometimes people just don't know what it took to get us here tonight. And so, God, because you care about us and because you love us and because you love us with an everlasting love, we say thank you, Jesus, for bringing us all the way. And now, God, we pray for people everywhere. We pray for this organization that does the work. We pray for every hand that's extended to this organization to help them continue doing the work. And we pray for the hearts and the people that they touch. We pray for survivors. Lord, if it had not been for you on our side, I don't know where I would be and I don't know what I would be, but God, thank you for being in my corner. Thank you for being on my side. Thank you, thank you, thank you. If I had 10,000 tongues, I couldn't say thank you enough. And so, God, as this event goes forward, I pray that you bless everyone here collectively, but also, Father, I pray that you bless people individually. God, I understand that we come into gatherings and we smile, but people don't know what we deal with when we go home. And so, God, what I'm asking you to do is something unique tonight. God, would you bubble wrap your people in your peace? Things that we want to keep from being damaged, we bubble wrap. And God, you have a heavenly bubble wrap. You have a divine bubble wrap that you can keep our minds in perfect peace. God, you're God of the storm. You're God in the storm. And when we come out of the storm, you'll still be God. And so bubble wrap your people in your peace and remind us that you promise us that if we keep our minds stayed on you, you will keep us in perfect peace. We give you glory. We give you honor. We give you praise, not only today, but for the rest of our lives. Bless every presenter who will come. Bless this MC. Bless these hosts. Bless everyone who's here and those who are coming. We ask that your hand will rest on this event and that when we leave here, our testimony will be, we were so glad we came. In the strong, in the mighty, in the wonderful, and in the saving name of Jesus, I pray. Let the people of God say amen. Come on, say amen again and amen.
We could give it up to the pastor, please, because it's always good to give God praise, no matter who you believe in, right? So thank you so much, Pastor Kennedy. So we are in this beautiful, beautiful room. I think we all agree, right? Who knew that TD Bank could do it up like this? I love it. I love it. So I would like to call to the microphone one of the gentlemen who made this happen, Mr. Marcus Gonzalez. Where are you, Marcus? There you go. And more than a bank, TD is committed to building inclusive, empowered communities. Here to share why they're sponsors of tonight's event and why they're mission aligned with Beyond the Call is the VP of Community Business Development Officer. Where are you, Mr. Marcus Gonzalez? Give it up to Marcus, please. There you are. Thank you.
Thank you, everyone, for joining us tonight. I will keep this very brief. Just wanted to welcome you into our space. This is our flagship location here at 1 Vanderbilt. The weather is kind of nice outside. You can go outside and enjoy the patio if you like as well. But just wanted to say really thank you guys for joining us today and allowing us to host you in our space. This is a beautiful event. I love the music. I am a full Trini as well, so thank you guys also. But please enjoy yourselves, have a good time, and I'll be around all night if anybody wants to have a conversation with me as well. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much. TD is actually my bank. So if I wanted to do an event, do I talk to you, Marcus? Okay, awesome. All right, everyone. So I know that not everyone is, really social media crazed, but I'm going to beg a favor. If you could kindly take out your cell phone, those of you who are so inclined. I see a little movement, just a little. So we're here to support Ozzie Stewart and her wonderful organization, yes? And not just her, but the organizations that she is championing for, correct? All right, I need a little bit more audience participation. All right. So I'm going to need you to take out your phone, go to your Instagram, please and thanks. So I'm Guyanese, but I could pretend to be Trini if you want me to. So find at OTC _ podcast and the number 20. This is where the Guyanese accent comes out, so it's 20. And follow her. Because with traction, there's awareness, and what we want to do is just build awareness, okay? So become a friend. I know you're already a friend. That's why you're here. And we give you thanks for just joining this evening, but that's one. And then later on, I'm going to ask you to follow something else. But before, who had the Polaroid? Did any? Repeat it? Absolutely. So at OTC for on the call _ podcast, common spelling PODCAST, and the numerical 20. You'll see Ozzie's lovely face. Yes? Awesome. Ozzie, you now have 75 new friends. Make sure that you follow them back. Okay, good. Yeah, there you go. Ozzie says thank you. So, ladies and gentlemen, it gives me great pleasure to introduce our first and our keynote speaker, the one, the only, Mr. J. Andre Laveau, our Consul General of Trinidad and Tobago. By all means, as he walks up the red carpet. So Mr. Laveau serves as the Consul General of Trinidad and Tobago right here in this New York City, representing the nation's interests and strengthening cultural and economic ties with the diaspora, a career diplomat. Mr. Laveau, he is a passionate advocate for Caribbean heritage, community development, and international collaboration, embodying values of unity and cultural pride. I made you sound good, right, Mr. Laveau? Thank you so much for being here.
Thank you, and good evening. Thank you, Mistress of Ceremonies, who's doing such a fine job. I greet you on behalf of my wife, Haley, and the staff of the Consulate General of Trinidad and Tobago here in New York. Is everybody doing well? Yeah. I am just so pleased to be here because I love dealing with, I think we all, I share this love, I'm sure, with everyone. Just love dealing with authentic people. And I feel so privileged to know Ozzie Stewart. She is terribly authentic. She's real, and it makes her reliable. You know that once she tells you something, she means it. And I'm so glad that TD Bank and so many supporters have decided to get behind her with this incredible project that she's on to. I see it in a way as sometimes a bit thankless because Ozzie is dealing with some hard issues. I think she actually calls them hard issues on the Call podcast. And she's fearless in going into these issues. And tonight, dealing with abuse, you couldn't be more on point and more timely. And I congratulate you for that. I'm here really, of course, not as an expert or not a survivor of anything really. But I'm a human, and I must have faced some kind of abuse. And I know in some ways where Ozzie's coming from. My perspective really is as a foreign service officer, as a diplomat, and diplomats don't just represent. What they do really is that they go about, they learn best practices, they learn how things are done in other countries. They learn to extract wisdom from other cultures and so on. And I've been fortunate to have those experiences. And I must say that what I've gained a lot in my career is they pertain really to issues of humanity. That's what I find myself observing quite a lot. How do humans make it? What do they do? What are their attitudes? How do they handle difficult situations and that kind of thing? And when you think of the Caribbean, and the lovely people that come from the Caribbean, you don't normally think in terms of abuse coming in the same sentence as Caribbean. Am I right? Yeah. But it forces me to think because abuse is so current, and the various forms of abuse have been alluded to already. But it forces me to think of what's running through issues of abuse in the Caribbean, as Ozzie puts it, in the West Indian spaces. Well, our Caribbean reality really, and I'm not going to proffer any kind of theory or anything like that, but I'm just going to make one observation, and that is we're characterized by a striving for development, something that we conceive of as development. That goal, that transformation that we are looking for. We probably can't fully define it. We probably won't know when we are actually developed, but there is a striving. There is a striving to move, to advance, and to move from where we are. And if I may make an observation, because the target is not quite defined, what we may tend to do is get caught up in what I refer to, and this is not any social science term, what I refer to as a sort of a catch-up syndrome. I think what we do is we look at others and we keep comparing, and we're just aiming to catch up to them without actually defining what we're looking for, what it is we're actually chasing. And I think that this brings about a kind of abuse, a kind of neglect, a kind of let us say destructive habits that I think retard us. Sometimes we see education as like a high jump. Several people or many people may start making that cut, and then what do we say? Well, then if everybody's making it, then maybe that's not the right target. It's not the right level. We need to make it harder. And anybody could identify with what I'm saying? Yeah. Okay. So the issue really is the right kind of comparison. And I think that if we can firm up our sense of who we are, we will compare ourselves much less to the wrong kinds of people, the wrong nations, and so on. Okay? So I just want to highlight 2 points that I think that also run through this sort of a tendency to neglect and to abuse. Oh, thank you. I thought she was coming to tell me that I'm over my time. Mm-hmm. But I know I must be close to it. So just 2 things I think just tend to run through our march toward advancement and how what results, the negative results that come. And that is very often, I think in the Caribbean, we conceive, I don't know if it's because we're small, we conceive of a limited space. You know, we always think that the space in which we have to achieve is limited. So there's, we see somebody advancing and we think that we need to compete against them rather than find our own way, find our own path. Okay, so that's one thing. And the other thing is that, similar to that, is that this notion that someone is always in our way, you know. I think it's a question really of finding, or being taught to find our own way. And that's what I think parents, that's what I think communities need to do. And that's what I think organizations like On the Call podcast, Ozzie and her network really need to do, and they are doing. You know, Ozzie is uncovering issues that really benefit, they grow because of silence, because of our silence. We need safe spaces, we need healing spaces where we can express ourselves, where there's a sense of sanctuary, there's a sense of the presence of God, you know, where we can actually share ourselves. I think that's what the world lacks. So much of the world lacks. I see so many people, you can feel it. I don't know, you probably work in spaces, you're parts of organizations, even churches. There's so much pain because there's so much silence. If we could be better listeners, listeners not with our ears but with our hearts, truly sharing ourselves, truly sharing our time, not just our money, but our time. You know, I think that abuse would be dealt with in a much more decisive way. But the march continues. Ozzie, you have our full support at the consulate. We'll do whatever we can, okay, to continue making your podcast what it is. And I must take time to recognize Dr. Clegg on here. Good to see you. I'm surprised to see you. We didn't know you'd be here. I had the distinct honor of presenting you with, and it was my honor more than yours, believe me. And I know it was important to you, the AFUE award for your achievements, and continue what you're doing. Everybody, God bless you, and thank you.
We can take it slow. I will always love you. I can feel your
Thank you so much, Mr. Laveau. Thank you. Everybody give the Consul General another round of applause, please. And if I may, I would just like to engage with you just for a moment and see, and not make this like your standard cocktail. Oh, I see more friends coming in this space. I love this. Thanks for just coming because of me. I appreciate you. What did you take away from what Dr. Laveau said, Mr. Laveau said? I mean, what I took away, and I'm hoping that someone will engage with me and just, shout out and answer. But for me, is just to embrace that although we're of Caribbean descent, heritage, what have you, what we're doing, or what Ozzie has done with the help of her supporters, is create a safe space for us to actually talk about abuse, something that is not commonplace, or even expected in our, I know growing up, this was something that you don't talk about. You don't address it, you pretend that it didn't happen, and by virtue of just, the years on the trees in the room, if you will, I think I owe all of you a round of applause for stepping up to her call to action and addressing the issue. So thank you so much, Ozzie, and board members of, she's giving me a peace sign. Anybody else wanted to weigh in, like what you took away from Mr. Laveau? Just one thing. Yes. Barbara, go ahead. You could shout it out.
I think it's universal. So I'm not Caribbean, I'm US born.
Barbara says she's not Caribbean, she's US born, but she says this is universal. What's that? Oh, hold on. There's a mic coming.
Thank you. It's universal. So I think any of us, we are all from, Mother Africa, right? So the experience we're having is a collective thing, regardless of where we were deposited. I'll say it that way. So for those who are deposited in Jamaica or Trinidad or, Alabama, et cetera, I think a lot of the trauma is a very collective trauma. So in, my culture, being U.S. born, we don't talk about abuse, yet you saw abuse take place. When I went to Ghana as a Peace Corps volunteer, I saw abuse, and I couldn't do anything about it. So I think it's a universal thing.
Thank you for that, Barbara. Thank you. Yes. I think the mic is coming.
I just wanted to add something as well,
Sure.
if you don't mind. And so I love the piece about comparison, because when someone is dealing with abuse, they can have a comparison in terms of comparing themselves to other people and what they think is normal. But there can also be a comparison to the image or the hope of the life that they thought that they had, that they were going to have. And in not having that, it keeps them in more shame and keeps them in more upset. So I love that piece about comparison, which would urge all of us to be in the present and to be in the moment, past whatever has occurred.
I love that, Christine.
Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Levote, I just want to make you present to something, that we're listening and that we listen to you, Do you know what I mean? Like we really let that sink in, your message. So thank you for sharing that. And I think we will call, yes, please, another round of applause. It's all good. Did you want to say something, ma'am? Yeah, one last comment, and then we'll just continue with our program, okay? If the young lady with the beautiful glasses could have a mic, awesome.
Thank you. I thought it was interesting because I never think of abuse and trauma as connected. They're obviously related, but they're independent and they're interdependent. And to hear him speak from a male perspective, a black male perspective, where there's not always a space for men to talk about their feelings and their experiences, I appreciate hearing it, because automatically when we hear abuse, or when I hear abuse in this country in particular, you automatically think women, right? Or you think domestic violence or one specific type of abuse. But in this space, it's not singularly cultural, right? Because it goes across cultures, and it's unisex or multi-sex or gender-free based. So I appreciate that, because had he not said that, I don't think I would have given it thought. So I appreciate him expressing it from his perspective.
Thank you for that. And let me just say this, while Mr. Laveau's words came from him, I believe in energy and spirit. And I just want to share something that Ozzie shared with me when asking me to be the MC. She pointed that out, that was something particular. So it's almost by spirit design that she wanted the focus not to be solely where our mind goes, that abuse is correlated to women, that we all experience some level of abuse, and hopefully, we are in this space to heal from that. And I'll talk about it later when I lead us in a little meditation, but I would like to think that we're all light bearers. Do you know what I mean when I say that? Right? You come into a space and you bring light. You bring light to your family, your friends, and so forth. So it's not by happen chance that we're all here tonight. Good? Awesome. So allow me to introduce to you one of the very esteemed board members of Beyond the Call, Dr. Farley Cleghorn, who is a global health leader and, please don't buff me because I might just beat up this word, epidemiologist. Is that all right? Did I do it? Okay, awesome. So Dr. Cleghorn is an internationally respected physician, epidemiologist, and health diplomat with over 30 years of leadership in global health. How that's possible, because he only looks like in his early 50s, is beyond me. His expertise brings a global lens to healing, resilience, and community empowerment with programs across Africa, the Caribbean, and right here in the U.S. The mic is yours, sir. You can clap, it's okay.
Thank you very much. Thank you so much. That was flattery of the highest order. You know, flattery gets you everywhere. I want to say thank you and hello to everyone. Thank you to Ozzie. Thank you to my fellow board members. What Ozzie is doing, you know, beyond the hard issues that we're talking about today, Ozzie started off by elevating Caribbean achievement. That's really how she started. And I actually didn't meet Ozzie until a couple of years ago. Ozzie has been laboring in the trenches for a long time. And, you know, as Caribbeans, we, of course, love to get together, and we love to have good food and good drink and have a dance and laugh, talk, have some music. But we're not good at banding together, supporting the people that are trying to do good in our communities. And part of that is, of course, we're facing really a very strange environment in the US today. We are facing all kinds of issues. And I will not get political, but you know what I'm talking about, right? We are facing erasure, essentially. And this applies not only to Caribbeans who are of every stripe, every language, every creed. It applies to anyone who is not of a certain, shall we say, hue and persuasion. And New York used to be the place where Caribbeans came to do good, or rather to do well so they can do good. That's how it was. And Caribbeans do very well when they come to the United States, because we educate them and we send them off. That's what we do. I use my own example for that, which is we come to the United States and find that we could rise with the best of them. And then we have to give back. That's the other thing we're not so good at. So I want you not only to open your hearts to what Ozzie is trying to do, but to open your wallets when it's appropriate. Whether you have $10 or 20, you might have 10 million, I don't know. But we have to do for each other. And that's what Ozzie is trying to do. One of the most impressive things that I found out when I first met Ozzie was that she was recording the stories of Caribbean achievement. And there are people who are in their 90s. She did one last week of Professor George Allain, who was twice director of the Pan American Health Organization. He's 93 years old. And he's from Barbados. And I hope she will be doing I'm from DC, right? So I'm kind of DC-centric. She's going to be doing soon Von Martin, who for 48 years has run the Caribbeana show on WPFW, Jazz and Justice, from DC, 48 years. That's his only profession. It's wonderful. So, having said that, I am supposed to do something here, which is my co-speaker, David John, unfortunately, has come down with something. We're both doctors, so I say, physician, heal thyself, and he hasn't done that. But I am here to introduce a couple of people, and according to the program, the first person I should introduce is, yes, Dr. Tulsa Knox. Tulsa Knox. Tulsa Knox is a licensed psychologist dedicated to advancing mental health, resilience, and healing within diverse communities. Yes, with a focus on trauma recovery and holistic wellness, she empowers individuals to transform pain and into growth, offering pathways of restoration that align with Beyond the Call's mission of healing through culture and community. I would like to welcome Dr. Tulsa Knox. Come on up.
Thank you. It's more than a pleasure. I appreciate this opportunity to speak. But it's going to be speaking to our resilience, because I think all too often when we think of abuse, we think of succumbing. And what we do know in Caribbean and in African Americans is that we got resilience and we have grit, okay? And all too often, we do need to process our abuse, and we, in order to make sure that the abuse doesn't go into trauma. So just a little bit about me. I am a clinical applied psychologist out of NYU, and I've been doing this for more than 20 some odd years. I consider myself a radical collaborator in terms of helping people to help themselves. And there are many different modalities that I try to use, because I think it's important that we individualize this thing called healing, because we know that it's not a one-shot deal. So just to kind of delineate what we're talking about abuse, which is the act. What usually becomes the challenge is when it transfers into trauma. We've heard about trauma, and trauma actually makes its way into the body. And so when we think about the prevalence in some of the diseases that we have, which is the blood pressure and the cardiac and all that, I'm here to say, let's take a step back and look at within ourselves how we are processing what I call gravity issues, which has started since the 1500s, okay, when they started to subjugate persons that I call pigmented, okay? And so I think it's important that we realize that we can have self-determination. It's an important kind of concept that we have, that we realize that, it's sort of like what I say even to those that have certain disorders like ADHD. You might have challenges with your attention, but it doesn't have to have you. And so it is not just individual, it is definitely a community in which we get to see how do we come together, especially since we're in this trend that we find where we're now trying to relegate it back to where it has been, and we get to stick together in many different types of ways in terms of coming together when we talk about community. We're talking about, there's another psychologist out of Pepperdine University that speaks to emancipation groups, where when I think about this group here, if we can have these different kind of support groups, because just think about it. Each time we hear some things, we get to be re-traumatized. When they say, one of the things that I remember feeling my body when he said that, it wasn't that bad. And I said to myself, we know that, it wasn't that bad is dismissing. And we don't want to go back there. We can't control what is going on, but we can control what is within ourselves. So it really does start with awareness. And so I'm so glad that we're all here, because we need to check our own awareness. When we start to talk about safety and some of the other components that Mr. Ozzie has wanted me to speak to, I want to start with you. You get to take some time within yourself, particularly when we're hearing some of these disparaging kinds of rollbacks with diversity and equity and inclusion. We need to check ourselves. So there's another psychologist out of Penn State that he calls it, know your CLCBE, which is calculate, on a scale of 1 to 10, and that kind of goes into my first column, how are you feeling about that? We tend to dismiss that, oh, he didn't say that. Yeah, he did. Okay, so, but we can't stop that. That's kind of going under the auspices of what you can and cannot control. The next is locate, and this is something important that might be related to the medical piece. Locate where in your body are you feeling that, okay? Because when we dismiss that, we get to start to chip away at this thing called these different kinds of high prevalence and medical conditions. So we need to locate. And then we get to really be mindful of what are we communicating in our heads in terms of how we're taking that in. What is our self-talk? Because a lot of our self-talk is that this is going to be something that is going to be coming back as coming after us. We get to kind of get back to that. And more important than that is, we got a natural circuit breaker in our body called the vagus nerve, and I know you know about that. Okay, and what that is breathing, okay? So even when we're in these spaces where we're hearing these disparaging kind of comments, if we can calculate in our bodies just how are we feeling about that on a scale of 1 to 10, if we can locate it, I'm a big practitioner, as a CPT therapist of this thing called on a scale of 1 to 10, where are you feeling that? Do graduated relaxation techniques so that you can become acquainted with your body. And then what are you saying to yourself? Ozzie talks a lot about stories, narrative stories. You do get to also look within to speak to what is your narrative story? Check in on your narrative story, and especially as you get past that reset that I'm advocating that you consider to do. With the breathing, and then, of course, exhaling. So it's breathing to the count of 4. We got to figure out how to do it. We get to hold it to the count of 4, and then breathe out to the count of 4. And do that at least 4 cycles, and then when you check into that score that you had initially with calculating, you'll know whether or not you need to do another round, okay? Because if ever we need to do that, considering that we're only, I estimate to be maybe 275 days in this trend that we're in, that means that we got 365 times 3 plus the end of this year. There's a lot of calculating, there's a lot of locating, and a lot of communicating within ourselves, and Lord knows it's free. A lot of breathing that we're going to need to do, okay, in order to be able to keep this moving. And so we also, when she starts to talk to me about understanding and validating, we got to realize we built this country, okay? And so they can say whatever, but know your heritage, okay? And then at the end of the day, when you know your heritage, you can listen, which is, I have this kind of poster on my my laptop, which is, you can observe it, but don't absorb it, okay? Huge, huge. And sometimes that's that affirmation. So build your second column. My first column is the awareness and the calculated and whatever. Build your actual your resilience, your coping strategies. If ever we need to come into this place and this trend is coping strategies. And that's within yourself so that you can share it with someone else, okay? And that kind of goes with the emancipation groups, because we are free, but we have to be free within our heads before we can be free on the outside. So reclaiming the identity and the strength. You don't have to be. Everyone that has been abused doesn't necessarily end up in a post-traumatic stress situation. But if you don't check these points, and this is not just like a every now and then, maybe towards the end of your day, have a conversation with yourself, after you do the praying, because Lord knows a lot of times that actually helps to reset. Then check in with yourself and make sure that you're recognizing what are you saying to yourself as a result of what you're hearing, and the rollback. And so the role of culture and healing, and as far as I can see that I want to share with you, is to remember, been there, did that, okay? We actually have been through the civil rights. We did the walk. We're probably going to walk again in another 4 years, okay? But remember, once you can do it, it's called muscle memory. You can do it again, okay? And that's where resilience comes from, which I am so blessed to be a part of, the Caribbean, African, and all of that, because it's in my DNA, okay? It's in the DNA. And you get to remember that this too shall pass. So in closing, I want to quote Maya Angelou, because I think she said, make sure you have a closing quote. And this to me is very apropos to what we're talking about. And Maya Angelou said, one isn't necessarily born with courage, but one is born with potential. And without courage, we cannot practice any virtue with consistency. We can't be kind, true, merciful, generous, or honest. So Maya quote is a powerful reminder. And that's probably why they're challenged, because they know we've been here, did that, and there is no stopping us, you know? And there's no stopping anyone that is, you know, I don't like that what we talk about with them against us. We are one. You know we are one. You know, when we think about the history of race, that's man-made, okay? What separates us is our blood type. You know that, okay? So I would not listen to the hype, but I would continually check in to the narrative that I'm saying to myself, okay? So glad to be here. Thank you.
We want to say a huge thank you for that insightful discussion by Dr. Knox. We're going to continue right along unless anyone had a burning response. Does anyone have a burning response to Dr. Knox? We have treatment for the burning. Well, we'd love to hear what you have to say. Hold on.
Oh. If Dr. Knox would feel comfortable walking us through the box breathing, because I do think it's instructive for individuals to feel it, to know what it feels like as they leave from this place, if she feels comfortable.
So I think it's a question about breathing as an exercise in coping, whether you want to walk people through that, or do we have time? I have to ask the mistress of ceremonies. Let's do it quickly. You can do it from down there, like Oprah.
You know, breathing is inherent. It's a part of what we do. We get to kind of figure it out in terms of, is it working? But what's important is to hold it, because we want to get the oxygen to our brain to be able to, and you can chime in on this, the reset. You know, like I said, we have a natural circuit breaker in our body. And so when things are going south, we get to exercise choice, which is also a religion in a way, but we get to take over that. And you can breathe anywhere. You know, you can go say, excuse me, go to the bathroom and do your 4-4-4. So it is important that you go through the cycle of either it could be 4-4 or it could be 4-7-8. What's important is how your body is processing it. Okay? And then the other coping strategies, is which we get from, you know, our spiritual piece, is affirmations, you know, and that comes from your narrative. What affirmations are you telling yourself? You know, one of my favorite is, forgive them for they know not what they do or say, because when I think about one of the prophets that they basically paraded on that Sunday and killed them on that Saturday, to think that he was saying that as he was transitioning, which is forgive them what they say, do not know what they say or do, that allows you to put into context that it's not you, it's outside of you, okay? And you can't control that. So when you're saying that over and over again, when they're talking and saying some disparaging thing, they become Charlie Brown's teacher. Do you remember Charlie Brown's teacher? Wah, 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 wah. Okay, because we get to insulate our bodies so that hopefully we can start to take down some of these prevalence that we're getting in terms of illnesses.
Thank you, Dr. Knox. One other way in which you can reset your breathing is by deep exercise, so you're gasping for breath, having a good cry, you know, whether it's in a movie or a joyful cry is better than a sad cry. But anything that makes you gasp for breath will reset your breathing. Try that. When you see someone who's physically attractive, when you see some good food, take a deep breath. We're moving on to the next speaker, Eduardo Archer, executive therapist and family counselor. Where is Eduardo? He's right over there. He's a trusted executive therapist, we need to understand what that means, and family counselor who brings decades of experience helping individuals, couples, and organizations navigate conflict and rediscover balance. And so, Eduardo, you have a big job here. How are you?
I'm doing well. Yeah.
There you are.
I love it. I love it. Thank you so much. Thank you. So executive therapy, yeah, thank you so much. I'm looking forward to this. In fact, I just want to greet you all. It's so good to see you all here and to see how this movement, Ozzie, bringing together people from all touches of life, and that means a lot. And so here, you know what? I actually want to just lean right into this conversation this evening. Dr. Knox did an amazing job at giving us quality psychoeducation about mental health and how to move and grow in that. I want to take that baton and pick it up where she left off. One of the last things she said is she highlighted our inheritance, our heritage, our DNA, the fact that we have muscle memory from where we've come to project forward and where we're going. And this evening, I speak not just as a professional, an executive therapist, but I speak as a son of this heritage. I speak as an individual that watched my parents suffer and fight and get through the imbalance and instability of navigating from Haiti into Canada into New York into Florida and all of this so that they can hand me this baton. And the baton could look like art, it could look like music, it could look like a connection, but for me it was culture, it was community. And I want us to agree on something, which is the fact that, y'all, at our core, we are not fragile. Yeah, we're dealing and navigating healing abuse, and we need to, but because of where we've come from and where we're going, we agree in the space that we have strength inside of this space that we are because we have community, right? Now, that also reveals the weakness. The strength in our community also reveals one of the threats that we have to deal with, which is isolation, right? The pursuit of our goals, the pursuit of all these things with in a place of isolation. So here, I want to do a quick just mental exercise. This is something that I would do for my clients, right? And you're gonna hate this, but I'm gonna take you somewhere with it, okay? I want you to ask yourself this question. I want you to pay attention to what emotion comes out of you when I ask you this, okay? What if who you are right now is as good as you'll ever get? What if you don't get any richer? You don't get any smarter? You don't get any healthier? This right now is peak version of you. Yeah, when I first heard this question, it pissed me off. I didn't like it. I don't want to deal with it, right? After I got through the anger, what happened to me is calm because I had to now look around in my life and see who's around me and to see like what I have, the things that I wouldn't trade for the world. But I also had to face my ambition. I had to confront my ambition because I realized that, guys, I'm not sure I know how to be happy unless I'm getting something done. I'm always trying to promise my future tomorrow to make up for my lack today. And that's something we have to pay attention to because If you don't know how to be content, how will you ever know what it feels like to be fulfilled? Contentment, fulfillment, those are very present living words. They're not future, they're not potential. Contentment. And so what we need to do is confront those areas of ambition. And one of the things I want to speak to the men in the room and just encourage you all. I have two of the men in my life that always show up, my uncle and my father. And if it's a wedding, if it's a funeral, if it's a big milestone, they're there. They're there in the background taking pictures. And I want to invite all the guys in this room. And the reason they do that for me is because I'm a part of their inheritance, right? I'm a part of their story. I want us all to adopt a story, an inheritance, find a movement, find a mission that means something to you. So how do we fix this? How do we get ahead of it? Because if we can heal ourselves and move towards that healing, we can heal our community. We can actually move forward in that. So the first word for sure is going to be the word presence, right? If you take a look into the book of us therapists, and you look at how do we treat anxiety, depression, even trauma, one of the roads that we have to cross at some point is this issue of what Dr. Knox highlighted, which is awareness, right? This issue of being right here, right now. Like, come back. Don't live in the past. Right here. Don't be so worried and anxious about the future. Right here. Breathe. Grounding. All those things help settle you right now. And I think that's something that we can do right now this evening. And remember, if I can heal myself, I can heal my community. When you dance to the music, I want you to dance without apology. When you are connecting and laughing, I want you to throw your head back and enjoy that moment without apology. Practice what it means to be content. Practice what it means to be right here. No apology. And then the second thing I want to highlight is this issue of mission. We need to give our ambition something worth the trouble, right? The only things worth actually doing, giving your life for, are things that will outlive you. And I want you all to be thinking about that. Like, what is it that I'm investing? What am I investing my ambition towards? Is it myself in isolation, or is it community, right? Is it heritage? And I want us all to reach for something bigger that's going to outlast you, that's going to be way bigger than you. Look at all the work happening with Beyond the Call. All those big missions that you can press yourself into and know it will outlive you. Yeah? And so I think with that, with a real sense of presence without apology, with a real investment of my ambition towards something that matters, we together can arise and heal ourselves and heal our communities. Yeah? I really appreciate you all. Yeah?
Give it up for him. Thank you. It's one of the fundamental precepts of medicine and provision of medical care is you try to align the provider with the patient. And in Caribbean communities, I think we're not too hung up on that. But sometimes it makes perfect sense to have a Caribbean provider to help address Caribbean problems. And this is something that, of course, it's really a pipe dream because we just don't have enough of them in the places where there are lots of people. We have a lot of Caribbean people like me who has, gone to DC and been at the NIH and really done stuff that doesn't connect always with the people. But we've just heard from these wonderful people who are doing work in our communities. So I want to introduce Dr. Wayne Brown. Dr. Brown, is that you? Okay. He's frowning. He's not sure. He's happy yet. He's a wellness innovator, founder, and creative architect whose career spans positive psychology, youth advocacy, technology-driven solutions, known as the optimistic mastermind. That's quite a title. And the peace warrior. He integrates human-centered coaching with emerging AI tools to bridge personal growth and innovative solutions to abuse and trauma. That sounds like something we all need. So welcome, Wayne. Come on up.
Pressure is, oh gosh, she can't fight that. She full of vibe and of energy. She pushing it right.
Can I ask you something? Can you reintroduce me? But I just want to ask you to do one thing for me.
Yes.
Dr. Wayne Light Brown.
Okay, the light part is very important. Dr. Wayne Light Brown. And as you can tell, he is light brown.
All right. Man, you know I had this plan completely different in my head before I came up here. But it's about us being present. About us being present. About us being able to speak up for who we are, for our name. Right? It's interesting that the nature just changed and like before there was a light. So me and Ozzie spoke about this. I was supposed to come up here and say, excuse me, can someone please turn the light on in the room? No, serious. Can someone turn the light on in the room? Brother, you, over there, the smooth jacket. Turn the light on. Excuse me, elder, light. Somebody, light. How many times have we been asking for someone to turn the light on for us? Show hands. 1978, I was born in Presbyterian Hospital, born with a disease called Hirschsprung's disease. Other doctors that's in here, people know that in 1978, I was one of those miracle babies. But prior to that, I'm gonna let you know, I was full of crap when I was born. My large intestines had a hole in it. Fecal matter was leaking in my body. So if you look right here, have a happy face. That's what my son calls it. But prior to my birth, my conception, it's kind of like an immaculate conception. That's what my grandparents said. That's why the light part is very important. So we all have parents, right? Everybody has a parent. Some people every individual in this room came out of a womb. Maybe some individuals don't know the contributing partner, the sperm part, right? People have that abuse, that trauma story. That's heard. But the difference in the unique part was I was birthed by two non-traditional parents. My parents, by today's definition, which would be considered transgender. Now, as an Afro-Caribbean Latino man, having a drag queen father all my life and a masculine identifying mother who, by the way, was incarcerated 34 years out of my 46 years of life, all my life. Now, is that not a whole list of... Somebody please turn the light on. Right? There's people in this room that I see. Shout outs to some of my people in the room. Every day I'm choosing my life. Every single moment. So the ancestors put something in me to be here, not as a savior, but to be an example for now. To be in this space. Or my Trini family in the room. My son right now would be here, but he's with his Trini godmother. If some people might have saw at the table, I got misty-eyed for a second because my Trini brother from college that just got released from prison, that he said something to me that was so brilliant. He said, brother, they don't know how much violence you've been through to be so peaceful. And then I said, but why is it that since I've become a doctor, for the first time I feel like a nigger? You guys see? And I told my mentor, Dr. Norman Chambers, who debated Abraham Maslow. See, people didn't know that brother Dr. Norman Chambers, 91 years old, debated Maslow because self-actualization and transcendence wasn't a part of those hierarchy of needs. But there was a brother in that room, young in that moment, that said, there's a flaw in your plan. There's something that's missing in your echelon. But little would I know I would get placed in Dr. Norman Chambers' office in San Diego 13 years ago amongst another group of brothers. And then see my future beyond where I said, hey, you know what? I got my undergrad. But I don't think I'm worthy, or I don't think I can still see myself past 16, past 18, past 21, past 25, 30. Although I'm looking at grandfathers, great-grandfathers. But this is the internal dialogue. This is the conversation every single day. We're still speaking as a doctor. The church may not embrace my truth and my conversation. The mosque may not embrace my conversation. It's an honor to be here as an entrepreneur of 20 years. When Ozzie made the call, just show up. That's what we're supposed to do. But not for me, but it's for us. We're all light. So why the light is so important, it's not about me. We're all light. But who Dr. Wayne Light Brown is for this time, for these youth, is an expert through life experience for conversations, raising another young person. I'm a single father, 14-year-old, sole custody, homeschooling my son. Entrepreneur. Still a human being, still go through real life stuff. But what's missing is the real support, the ear, right? The support, like, how many times have we spoke to this week, in the past 2 weeks? So I'm inviting each and every one of you in this room. Can I get everyone to raise their hand for a second? Okay. I'm inviting you to support Sister Ozzie financially. Right, call to action. I want you to be uncomfortable. I'm inviting you to be uncomfortable today. Not to abuse yourself, okay, financially, because sometimes, you know, we go shopping now, right? I'm inviting you to be uncomfortable with your generosity today. I can guarantee that it's going to reciprocate, it's going to pay forward, it's going to come back, because you got up, you came here, not just to be fed this way, but we're here to honor and celebrate the call that's been put on your life for us to all be here, for you to continue to bestow that. And that is why we're here. So thank you, Ozzie, for allowing me to be complete with something I didn't know that I was missing. Thank you.
Give it up for Dr. Light Brown.
Thank you. Well, he got a rise out of us. The next speaker is a friend of mine. Anselm Douglas is a Trinidadian Canadian singer. Who remembers Who Let the Dogs Out? Grammy-winning song. That is Anselm. Beyond fame, he advocates for social change through music on abuse and injustice. Songs like Abuse and Silent Cries give voice to the voiceless with healing power. And this really speaks to, we just heard from Light, using his vocation to help understanding issues related to Caribbean peoples. And you can do that through music, because music is a form of not only art, it is a form of love. So Anselm, what can we say?
Good evening. All right, all right. I want you to give a round of applause to all those speakers who went before, to our mistress of ceremony. She's doing such a fine job. I have been trying to bring awareness to domestic violence and spousal abuse for some time. I want to do a song for you that I wrote 20-something years ago. So that's how long I've been at it. Because I grew up in a time, excuse me, I grew up in a time when domestic violence, believe it or not, was kind of commonplace. It was not uncommon for a man to beat up his wife and brag about it in the rum shop the next day. That was not uncommon. You know, and believe it or not, there are a lot of men who are victims of domestic violence, spousal abuse, but we keep it quiet. Because how could you go on the construction site and say your wife beat you last night? You know? So we suffer in silence, a lot of men. We suffer in silence. And I think what Ozzie is doing here is a really good start, because this is about healing. And healing is about, I'm not a doctor, but healing is about sick people need healing. Hurt people need healing. And funny, hurt people hurt people. You know, so the hurter is a sick person who needs to go lie on the brown couch and talk about his or her problems. And the hurt, or the hurtee, also needs healing. And I think this is where we start as a community, as a people, with one aim, one goal, to heal, to start the healing process, to grow, because we've all seen it. We all have a friend, a girlfriend, a guy friend, who comes to work with the dark shades ever so often, or who continuously keep walking into the door or falling on the step. We all have somebody like that in our lives. And the doctor said something earlier on about light, about being a lamp, being a lamp. You are a lamp, you are a light. And remember that, you know, we have this belief that darkness is the opposite of light. That is so far from the truth. Darkness is really just the absence of light. So be a light in everybody's life that you come across. Be like light. Where's light? Dr. Light, where is he? Be a light in somebody's life. So I want to do a song. Oh, there you are, Dr. Light. I think I did some serious damage to my instrument for Labor Day. It was a lot of fetting for Labor Day. a lot of juvie and a lot of stuff. So let's hope that it doesn't stay. And as we're talking about healing, let's hope that eventually it gets back to what it's supposed to be.
A scream rings out in the night, that mean dark shades tomorrow. Neighbors turn a deaf ear to she plight. Yeah, they crank up their stereo. Nowhere to run, nowhere to hide. Not one person to take she side. So now we free to flexi muscles and shake. Oh, what a sad situation. A man beating up on the woman, and then the next morning still saying I love you, baby. Hey, that is your granny, your beating boy, and that is your sister, your lashing boy. And now I'm sure that in the core of your brain you're sick, you're sick, you're sick. That is your nanny, your kicking boy, and your sister, your slapping boy. So like a drug addict, you should seek some attention quick. Now the children scared till they're weak, they huddle up in a corner. They watching how the mother you real treat as your kick and abuse her. But as they weep and tears they shed, in their heart they wish that he was dead, because that way they wouldn't have to deal with this pain. But you in your violent stupor, blinded by your rage and anger, while you half killing she, you know you're hurting your kids again and again and again. Hey, that is your granny, your beating boy, and that is your sister, your lashing boy. And now I'm sure that in the core of your brain you're sick, you're sick, you're sick. That is your nanny, your kicking boy, and your sister, your slapping boy. So like a drug addict, you should seek some attention quick. Whoa. Whoa, whoa, Listen, when all the years roll by like a flash, now you're old and you're aching. If a mosquito bite, you can't lash your baby and all slipping. Oh, 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 yeah. Gone are the days of the dandapa. Now you need someone to change your pamper, but there's no one, because in times you treat them like dirt. Your wife, she survived the affliction, while your kids hate the ground that you walk on. All and alone, now it's you who feeling the hurt, the hurt, the hurt. Hey, that was your granny, your beating boy, and that was your sister, your slapping boy. And now I'm sure that in the core of your brain you're sick, you're sick, you're sick. That is your nanny, your kicking boy, and your sister, your coughing boy. So like a drug addict, you should seek some attention quick. Whoa, 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 whoa. Yeah, that was your granny, your beating boy, and your sister, your slapping boy. So now I'm sure that in the core of your brain you're sick, you're sick, you're sick. That was your nanny, your slapping boy, and your tanty, your kicking boy. So like a drug addict, you should seek some attention quick. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Mr. Douglas. That was, I don't know, I want to say it was beautiful, but it was much more moving than beautiful. Thank you so much. Another round of applause for Mr. Anson Douglas, everyone. So I don't know if I don't know if anyone noticed some of the words that were promoted on the screen. Did anybody see one of the most recent ones? It said, "Spirit doesn't make mistake." Did you see that? So what I didn't do earlier, so forgive me for this misstep, is properly introduce myself. So my name is Sonia Daly, and in the world, if you will, 9 to 5, I am a long time, I won't tell you the years, but my gray hair shows it. I'm a longtime New York City State and New York City government operative, leading the city through many crises, our asylum seeker crises, and doing operations behind the scenes, if you will. But the thing that fuels me, the reason that I believe that I'm born and that I'm here, is to create safe healing spaces where people release their fear and embrace purpose. So forgive me if my voice cracks because I am getting emotional, just knowing that Spirit doesn't miss. And there's a reason that, dare I say, that the original MC wasn't able to join us. And in the 11th hour, I was asked to do so, and it was my pleasure for doing so with my friend and for my friend and meeting Ozzie. So Spirit doesn't miss. Everyone's talk this evening literally spoke to the 2-minute guided meditation that I'd like to take you through, that I will invite you to participate in. Whether or not you believe in meditation, feel free to join. But if you don't mind, silence your phones. Uncross your legs. Uncross your arms. Let the weight of the day release from your shoulders. Feel free to close your eyes or just bow your head, just so that there's no tension. Release any tension in your body. And for all of us as light bearers, we need to always stay covered in healing. So I invite you to settle into a very comfortable position. Soften your gaze. Let the natural pace of your breath find its rhythm. If you will, place one hand over your heart and the other over your abdomen. Feel the rise and fall of your breath. Don't try to manipulate it, just let it do so naturally. With each exhale, release a bit of tension that you came here with, or sadness, or your own abuse. And whatever emotions come to the fore for your body, let that flow. With each inhale, I want you to draw in some compassion, draw in some gratitude, and draw in some love, not for anyone but yourself. Imagine a steady light at the center of your heart that grows more radiant as you settle into this space. This light extends a safe, calm perimeter around you and those you support, but namely yourself. So as you've heard earlier, you be the light. You be that safe space for yourself, and you can do so with very intentional breathing. Don't try and manipulate your breath. Feel the beat of your heart on your hand and just know that you're in the right place at the right time. Beautiful. And you can do that. It took less than 2 minutes, right? You can come back when you're ready. Wonderful. Everyone feel okay? Awesome. So thank you for that. Thank you for accepting my invitation to just be still and just see how easy it is, if you will. It's simple and easy to just be still and just connect with your heart center. All right, let's keep this program going. Everyone okay? Want to pulse check? You sure you're okay? Turn to your neighbor, ask your neighbor, you okay? All right, awesome. So let me please have the pleasure of introducing Mr. Master Steel Pan himself, That's you, yes. I love it when people are like, hey, that's me. Earl Brooks Jr. is an internationally acclaimed panist whose artistry has carried the sounds of Trinidad and Tobago's national instrument, the steel pan, onto global stages, performing with icons like the one, the only Marshall Montano, and at festivals worldwide. Earl's music bridges heritage and innovation. So he is going to bring to us some of that wonderful sound tonight. Take it away, Earl. You can clap, it's okay. You're a very shy audience.
All right, so I was gonna play some sentimental music, but I feel like I gotta switch that mood.
Yes, yes.
Just to address what we're addressing this evening, I myself, I've lost my mother, who's the reason I live in New York, last March. I just lost my eldest sister in July of this month, July of this year, on the 27th. Her birthday is tomorrow. So I myself, I'm being present, Mr. Light, being present, all right, and being aware of spirit, as, you know, I could feel a lot of energy, all right? But I'm gonna start it with our music and start with the energy because I feel some upliftment needed.
What are you doing? She said.
Low volume.
She said. Does? She said, let me cater to you. I say cater to me. She said, just relax. Anything. No, no, no. She said, take it easy. I will do the work. You don't have to wind up yourself. You don't have to wind up yourself. Oh, she said, take it easy. I will do the work. You don't have to wind up yourself. You don't have to wind up yourself. Oh, and then she bubble and she bubble and she bubble and wine. Push back is the greatest man. Oh, push back. Roll your waist and bend. Oh, push back. Oh, Miss Lady, bubble and she bubble and she bubble and wine. Push back. Give me the greatest man. Oh, push back. You are the wickedest man. Oh, push back. Why? I wanna wine on your. Yeah. Double. Whoa, 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 boy. Oh yeah. I believe in the truth, and I just wanna live good. I don't want no dirty secrets fighting me and you. Boy, I could only drive one car at a time, but I still want to, but I still want to. Cause everything is balance, right through life, what we want is balance. So be a good wife, what you need is balance. Bend down, touch your toe and balance, go low and balance. Love comes from a place where we don't get jealous, and we don't live like no dream sellers. I say we keeping it real, I'm telling you like it is. I'll be there for you with anything you're facing. I'll be your sunlight when it's raining. Stay together and we going places. Yeah, yeah. I'll be by your side no matter the case. We have a one-way ticket to greatness, greatness. Girl, I don't want to lie, cause I believe in the truth, and I just wanna live good. I don't want no dirty secrets fighting me and you. Boy, I could only drive one car at a time, but I still want to, but I still want to. And let me get to the truth. I just wanna live good. Look, the sun could shine the same time with the moon. Boy, I could only drive one car at a time, but I still want to, but I still want to. I want to say what she like. Don't turn off the lights, that what she like. Can't believe a sweet girl like you would that tell me. No sweetness, tie she weakness, yeah. No feelings, just fuck it up like you mean it. No sweetness, tie she weakness, yeah. No feelings, just fuck it up like you mean it. Girl, wine and go down, waistline flow like a melody. Go down, pretty girl, you are the recipe. Go down, fire in the kitchen, right girl, where you cook that, let me see. Nice man can keep you interest. Come with flowers and they get this space. You have to handle the business
want everybody sing. And I will leave it through. I in a good, good spirit. The vibes in a good, good spirit.
The vibes right up to the limits. So don't hold me down, don't fight me down. Yeah. Good spirit. I drink in a good, good spirits. The vibes ain't cause in a minutes. So don't hold me down, don't fight me down. Yeah. My friend and them gonna tell you about me. Good people is good people. We only want love in this circle. Yeah. My family gonna tell you about me. Good people is good people. We only want love. Well, everyone make their choices. I say we make sacrifices. We block out the noises. We have to forget the voices. One day we gon' make it. You don't have to fake it. I give you my best. I give you the chain of my neck. I give you my love and respect. But now hear the story. Is you vexing me? Like I do you something. Like I do you something. When I hear the show now, is you vexing me? Like I do the wrong thing. Like I do you something. Oh, it's a good, good thing. I in a good, good spirit. I drink in a good, good spirits. The vibes right up to the limits. So don't hold me down, don't fight me down. Yeah. Good, good spirit. I drink in a good, good spirits. The vibes ain't cause in a minute. So don't hold me down, don't fight me down. Yeah. My friend and them gonna tell you about me. Good people is good people. We only want love in this circle. Yeah. My family gonna tell you about me. Good people is good people. We only want love. Everybody like you never do bad. Things where you do say you never do that. Run for the dream and you never look back. Now money in your pocket so you never too sad. Boy, if money make you dance, you'll be dancing forever. To the beat of a drum that never go help you. But now hear the story. Is you vex with me? Like I do you something. Like I do you something. When I hear the show now, is you vex with me? Like I do the wrong thing. Like I do you something. Oh, it's a good, good thing.
should be my theme song moving forward. I come for this work. Sign me up. What do you guys think? Thank you. Thank you. Earl, that was amazing. Everybody give it up for Earl, please. Now we know why you're internationally acclaimed. Earl, from me, on behalf of all of us, I hope that your heart heals. Thank you for being with us this evening, because you could have chosen differently, but I hope that we deposited into you the way you deposited into us. Thank you, thank you, thank you. All right, ladies and gentlemen, who feels like winning big money? Really? Nobody feels like winning big money? No? Thank you. Thank you. There's always one friend in the crowd. All right, it's raffle time. So who did a raffle? Who has the winning ticket? Remember, we are raffling tickets to the Live with Kelly and Mark show, right? And I made a mistake. It wasn't 8 tickets. It's a total of 4, okay? As well as Fashion Week Brooklyn tickets. Did you guys know that that's what you raffled for? Oh, when you came in, the registration desk asked, I'm sorry. Okay, well, make friends with someone and see if they'll take you to the events, okay? All right, everybody, can I get a little drum roll, please, even if it's on the table? This is the first set of Live with Kelly and Mark. All right, I'm not looking. Everyone have out your ticket? Oh, I see big money over here in the cream suit. You have a winning ticket, I know this. You hopefully? Okay, awesome. All right, no drum roll. Can I get a drum roll, please? No. Thank you, thank you. Okay, the first set of tickets. The first pair will go to 651. Who's that so far? 174. Who's the winner? You have to be here, unfortunately. It is you. Yay. Congratulations. That's awesome. This was not fixed, I promise you. Come, let's see. I have to trust but verify. Sorry. And we have, oh, your nails are in the way. 651-174. Awesome. Congratulations. What's your name?
Martine McGregor.
How was your evening?
It was beautiful. Thank you.
Thank you. I hope you have fun at the show, okay? Awesome. We will need to log that Martine McGregor, right? And the second set of tickets goes to, shake it up. And folks, while you're waiting, like I said, there are programs on some of the highboy tables that have a QR code. I invite you again to, give with your heart. Alrighty, the next winning ticket, similar but not the same, 651-184. Who's that? Is that another winner over there? Is it? Did you buy up the entire round, sir? Seriously? Let me see. I don't believe this. Now you need to invite another couple to go with you to make 4. 651-184. Awesome. And what's your name?
Kenyatta.
Kenyatta. Thank you, brother. And congratulations. Awesome. Round of applause for Kenyatta and Martine, who have won 4 tickets to the Live with Kelly and Mark show. All right, so now Fashion Week. Who are the fashionistas in the house? I see a lot of you. You ready to go to the fashion show? It's happening this week. So I think we have a total of, where is Ozzie? I want to say it's a total of 4 tickets. All right, here we go. 651-153. Oh, I am so sorry. I'm sorry. It's 183. Anyone? 651-18. Kenyatta bought the entire roll. Is that you, Kenyatta? You did it? See, this is how you come to events. I'm just saying. Take a page out of his book. You did it? So you're going to go in the morning to Kelly and Mark, and then in the evening to Brooklyn Fashion Week? Oh, there you go. Let me see. Trust but verify. Hold on. 651-183. Awesome. Congrats. I'm going to hold on to that. Wonderful. Well, look at that. I love it. All right, folks, we're going to keep this party moving because, as they say, as the kids say, you don't have to leave, but you might have to get the you-know-what out here. So you see these beautiful floral arrangements? They are masterpieces of one of Ozzie's awesome friends, and he unfortunately couldn't be here. His name is James Francois Pillion. I believe that he's going to soon begin a floral museum. I want to say it's in New York. Hasn't been yet established, so look out for him. I'm going to turn the mic over to another friend of Ozzie's, Miss Jenia Wright, who is going to bring some closing remarks before we say our thank yous and bid you all a wonderful farewell. Have you all had a good evening? Yes? All right. It was a pleasure being your MC this evening. I hope to see you all again. Thank you. Thank you, Jenia.
Good evening, everyone. It's actually Jania Wright. That's okay. We just met. No worries. Oh my gosh. I hope that you are feeling as full as I am. Okay. I thank you for joining us tonight, and I'm so honored to be a closing voice. I'm honored for many reasons. Honored because this organization is amazing. Honored because healing is something that we as a community need to center. And I'm honored because I am the newest member of the board of this organization. And so I feel, no, I didn't say it for that reason, but thank you. I said it because I'm feeling so proud that I have the nerve to be proud. Newly affiliated with the organization, and I have the nerve to be proud, but it's just so beautiful here this evening. And wanted to let you know that your support this evening goes beyond the call. We have several organizations that are going to benefit from your offerings via the raffle and other ways that you've supported us tonight. Coalition for the Homeless, NYC, Animals Alive, Venus, Doggess of Love, Serenity Place Empowerment for Women, and the Open Cupboard House for Abused Women. Most of these organizations are in Trinidad and Tobago. So we thank you so much for your support of those organizations and for being here this evening. Can we have one more round of applause for the organizers of this event? And another round of applause to every single talent, every single offering that was given to you this evening. I'd invite you to give us another round of applause. And I would invite you to give yourselves a round of applause, because I can't think of a better way to spend a Friday night. So thank you so much, everyone, and good night.
Thank you. So the lady of the hour, not me, but the one, the only, Miss Ozzie Stewart, she's a birthday girl? When is her, today? Shame on me. Why didn't anyone tell me that it's your birthday? No. It might not have been about that, but it's about that now. How could we not? Ladies and gentlemen, join me, please, in the Stevie Wonder version, singing happy birthday to you, my dear Ozzie. 1, 2, 3. Happy birthday to ya. Happy birthday to ya. Happy birthday to ya. Happy birthday to ya. Happy birthday. Aww.
Thank you.
Mwah. What a beautiful gift. Look at you giving gifts on your birthday. You're amazing. Thank you so much, Ozzie.
Here you are. But I do like she says. Okay, family. Tonight, we prove that healing is possible when truth is spoken, when culture is honored, and when community stands together. But the work does not end here. I invite you to keep the conversation alive with us. Listen to our upcoming seasons of On the Call podcast, straight marketing here, at onthecallpodcast.com. Yes, thank you. Check the hard issues, where our nonprofit champions the hard issues, share stories through Trini Corner. How many Trinis in the house? How many Guyanese in the house? How many Turks and Caicos in the house? I know there was, How many Bajans in the house? What am I missing? What am I missing? Grenadians? Huh? Hades. How many Haitians? Whoa. Jamaica? The Jamaicans. I know that this season is full. This season being around this time is full. Labor Day celebrations, back to school, and the parties, and the cruises, and them. And yes, we can do it all. We can celebrate, we can work, we can play, and we can still take care of ourselves, just as we have done here tonight. So as you leave, pick up a little special takeaway bag. It's waiting out there for you guys. And don't forget, leave your love, your comments, your voices on our socials. I think it was spoken about before. Let the world know that healing is alive and rising, not only in this room, but elsewhere tonight. So from my heart to yours, Auntie Wendy, thank you so much. The food, Auntie Wendy. Ray Sound Productions, branded by Ray. Ray, thank you so much. There's Ray behind there. Alicia Aberdeen Jones. The art that you're seeing digitally displayed was Alicia's creativity. She was doing that while she's also working on an exhibition in Trinidad, which she's just come back from. Woman is crazy. But love having her on the team. My dear Sonia, thank you so much for being here. Last minute, picking it up and doing it. James Francois Pigeon. Is he still here? These flowers were fantastically created today from 10:30 till maybe about 2. Boom, 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 done. And guys, it is light. It is not heavy, right? And it would be lovely if you guys can find a way to take it, you know, because it will be wonderful in your home for a long time. I know it's a big piece, or they're big pieces, but there are also little pieces on the little tables that are there as well. So I'm being told $10 on the little ones on the table. Who wants to buy? I think the codes are out there. You know, please. If you're at a table and you want to get it, you grab it now. Who else? We have to speak with people like my Consul General, who comes in, sits in, stands up, speaks out. And his wife Haley, who's always at his side, lovingly. Anselm, who came in and did his thing. I know the voice. I know you were going through some things before, but that song, no matter how you sing it, when you sing it, it hits hard. And I appreciate you coming back. And I look forward to you coming back next year, guys. Next year, same day, same time, same channel. Anselm there. Cecile Ford, I am so appreciative you're being here. I know you've come all the way from, yes, to be here, and I appreciate it. I've got to say Eduardo coming to speak, Eduardo Archer coming to speak all the way from Florida. I know that Tulsa drove in from Connecticut. Our dear Farley Clegon, Dr. Farley Clegon came in from Washington. I've got to let people know what is happening here. Our Janaya stood up and spoke. She's our new member, board member. Thank you very, very much. We have Mr. Gray, who is dealing with the pictures. I know Earl has left. You've heard his story, and he's even with his grief, he's here. That's a big thing. That's a hard thing. We do have Hollis, who has come in. Mr. Hollis King, D. Hollis King. Mr. Hollis King was the big man in Verve, the largest jazz label in the world. Mr. Hollis King in the house. And then we have Mr. Sherwin Banfield. Banfield, sculptor, painter. Is it Biggie Smalls? Sculptor, doing some great things. Look outside, take a look at the fists outside. Again, we've come here to do something special. Kevin Cheese, my videographer, who's there with me, takes care of me. We took a trip this year. We spoke to that trip last year at the consulate. We spoke about going away. We were going to Europe, but then, you know, then it became a cold season to travel in January, and then, you know, the elections happened. I was like, be kind to yourself, Ozzie. So we went, where we went? We went 4 countries, 3 weeks, Barbados, Grenada, Tobago, Canada, and back. It was wonderful, and I never felt safer than with Cheese. Cheese, raise your hand again. He is there. Raise your hand, Cheese. He is there. If we have to go like we did last week or 2 weeks ago, we had a 1 drive out to Maryland and back to speak with Sir George Alain, 93 years old and doesn't even need a walker. We drove out, came back, never felt safer than with Cheese. We do have Mr. Nelon Hunt. Then we have, and before that, we have Purnell, my friend Purnell, who has been with me in some serious scenarios back in the day. She is quietly sitting there, but she's come last year. She's here again this year. Purnell, I love you, I love you, I love you, man, I love you. Jay, blessed, I have been blessed by this person called Jay, sitting down quietly in a pink jacket. I'm not gonna look in her direction, but sitting down over there in a pink jacket, who pulled some fire out of my you-know-what to move me forward at a time when things seem to have been going a little awry, you know? Gotta say that. Thanks, Mr. Light over there, Dr. Light over there. Thank you for coming in. Thank you for lighting up the joint. And who else? And for all of you who have come in, this man over here, quietly sitting in his suit, turning around like I don't know, like you don't want to point. Mr. K. Jackson. Supporter, 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 K. Jackson. Thank you so much. My friend Jenny over there, who I grew up with, black and white shirt. She has been in my life since a toddler. She was the one who taught me to ride a racer bicycle when I was way small. Always still with me. Gina, back there, who's come in. She is, raise your hand, Gina, so people know who you are. She is working with a group in Uganda, working with children, women, communities in Uganda, doing really great work. And that work comes from the heart. All right, dangerous situations, and she's there. Gina, thank you for coming. Yeah. And everybody else who have stepped in, who've taken the time, hopefully this first time scenario, Zena. Can't forget Zena. Zena child. So guys, we spoke to this last year when we launched the nonprofit at the consulate, on Trini soil at the consulate. And here we are. Next year, there are, of course, bigger dreams. The man upstairs is kind of just moving me, even though I keep saying, slow down. There are things that keep happening. So next year, what is here is going to mushroom next year. So please, be aware. Tell your friends. Let's come back and do some healing again next 9/12. This is a special day for me. Now, it's my birthday. It was not meant to be, that was not the main thing. This healing was the main thing. But this gives me joy. This is the biggest gift I can ever have. Right? So, thank you. Anthony for working out the engineering. Thank you. Thank you. So next year, please. And in the meantime, we do need the help with moving things forward. This is what I wanted to show you, the work that is involved, that the culmination of that work. And so it is not, when we call out or we reach out, it's not, it is for this, right? Which is much needed. We know the abuse is happening in a lot of different levels, but also politically, yeah? We're getting a lot of whiplash. So we need to rein ourselves in. We need to hold one another's hand, hold one another down. So thank you for the healing. Thank you for seeing that maybe there was some healing in the room. I felt it. Thank you for that. Dr. Clegon. And for all the people I didn't call. But good night, onward to healing, justice, to joy, and to September 12, 2026. All right? And this music is the music. I'm a house head, so we're going to change up the music a little bit as we chip out to get the bags. Thank you for coming.
When humanity calls, BTC answers.